this is Allie Edwards, and this week I am going to be sharing a few different projects using our numbers scrapbook kit. I'll have one new video, a couple days this week that will be here on YouTube as well as on the blog. So you can check out additional still images if you want to see them on the blog, or you can just follow along here on YouTube. We started doing scrapbook kits a couple years ago now, where we have 12 by 12 pattern papers paired with 6 by 8 sized outside of the page protector pattern papers, and then some embellishments that go along with each kit. So this one obviously is numbers themed, which is super fun and super universal. I wanted to start off right away and show you something that I am planning on, or how I am planning on using one piece of this kit. This is my December daily album for this year, and I haven't really started doing very many foundation pages, but two of the pattern papers that are included in this numbers kit I'm pretty sure that I want to use in my album, so I've just set them aside. So these two I'm going to plan and do a spread probably with these two in my December daily album. So these are papers from the numbers scrapbook kit. Also, in case you didn't know, when you purchase our scrapbook kits, those actually come with the digital kit included. So that's a little extra bonus there for those of you that like to play around with both. But I just wanted to mainly just call that out. This kit is great for having numbers that you might want to add into your December daily project, if that's a project you participate in. Definitely these ones too with the red on them. You may see those pop up in my project. So one of the things that we've been doing with these scrapbook kits and the papers that are included is not only are we including just, you know, full page patterns, but some of these are pages that what I like to call directed storytelling, where they're giving you a specific space to add your story. So this one has a few different pages that are like this. We've got the top 10 one here. We've got a 1, 2, 3. We have 1 through 10 on this one. Lots of different things, you know, that you could, lots of different stories, right? These aren't specific to any story. They can be from a wide variety of stories within your life. But I like including these like this because I think that they are a really nice invitation, a quick and easy invitation to getting some stories told. So I know for sure I'm going to use this one probably paired with this sheet of pattern paper, the 12 by 12. I'm going to cut it down. I already printed out a small photo of the girls, so I'm thinking about just doing like a 10 things about the girls right now is kind of how I'm envisioning using these. And I'm also thinking about stamping with StazOn directly onto the 10. So the 10 is related to the 10 things about them right now. That's one project that I'm planning on doing. I haven't established what the other ones are yet, but you're going to see those over the next couple days. I'm going to start with that one. I wanted to show you just in the 12 by 12 papers. Here's another one that has, you know, a place for your story is already established. This can absolutely 100% be cut up too if you don't want to work in the 12 by 12 size. Just a quick look at the other patterns that are included in this one. This one I thought was really fun, designed with the idea that you could cut these out, right? And it's giving you a list of 10, or you could have it be 5 or whatever it was that made sense for the story you were wanting to tell. Lots of different ones. This can easily be cut up and used in a wide variety of projects. So I just wanted to highlight that one. Also, before I get started, embellishments in this particular scrapbook kit included these large wood veneer numbers, which turned out really fun. These plastic numbers, plastic square numbers or rectangle numbers, hope to use some of those. Some gold foil numbers, die cut numbers, the vellum ones that you saw a couple minutes ago. Again, I'll probably incorporate at least maybe one of these into my December daily. This kit also has gold foil sticker numbers, and then it also has these 4x4 cards, and I might try to do one of my projects using these as well. You can have the numbers can be stamped on the inside. There's a little circle that's left open, and then you can write your story. These ones also fit right in there, so thinking about different embellishments that you could add in there is a fun way to approach using these cards in your storytelling. All right, so for today's video, my plan is to just go through this one, which is going to come together pretty quickly because I'm essentially going to cut this one down to this size. You could also use a full page photo if you wanted to. I'm just kind of playing around with some different photo sizes. I love full page photos. It's definitely my go-to. And as I was considering diving into this one, I was kind of challenging myself to not use a full page photo and see what I come up with. So again, I'm gonna dive right into this one. All right, so step one for me here was to simply cut down that 12 by 12 pattern paper to the 7 inches wide by 8¼ inches tall. As always, you can make these whatever size you want. This is the same size as the other pages in the kit, so that's why I'm going to go ahead with that. I'm also punching the holes using my 6-hole punch first. I just usually use an extra page protector as a bit of a guide. I've tried to get myself in the habit of doing that first, always punching the holes first, so that I know where things are going to be. I measured the photo size there, and it ended up being about 1¼ by 2½, so that it could fit inside the 10. If you didn't pick up these add-on wood veneer numbers, you could totally do something similar here with the transparent or the vellum numbers there, or you might have some other ones in your stash that you could incorporate from past number products that we've had, whether they have been for our December Daily collection or for Week in the Life. Those are two other ones where we often offer numbers. Next up, you can see here I am using black StazOn ink to stamp directly onto these wood veneer numbers. I am using a stamp that says Current Observations. That's from our Currently Story Kit, which was available a few months ago now. I think it'll probably come back during one of our Stories Revisited sales, which I believe the next one of those is probably happening in November. But you can do this with any stamp set that you might have access to at your own house there. You just want to make sure that you use a permanent ink like StazOn. This is the one that I come back to again and again. Using the Current Observation stamp set, I ended up there's some spots there where I'm going back over it, so it ends up being a little bit messy, which was fine. I didn't have any intent that it was supposed to cover it in a perfect way. I'm just adding on a little bit of pattern onto the top there. It's one of my favorite ways to especially work with some of these larger things or other embellishments too, is the opportunity to stamp directly on them using some of these smaller stamps. But going ahead and repeating again those patterns all along there, trying to kind of keep it at the same angle, but also not worrying if I don't stamp it totally perfectly and kind of going back over some of them. So it's definitely a messy look here, but I like messy text, so I'm fine having that added on to the top there. Another thing you could do too is if you don't have some larger numbers, but you like the look of this, and maybe you have a silhouette machine or another die cutting machine, you could cut out your own numbers from cardstock or even hand cut them, print them out or print out an outline version on your printer and do that as well. After I did that, one of the things that was happening is I felt like it was a little bit too much type or a little bit too much pattern on top of pattern. So I'm going to take a piece of vellum. This is a sheet of actually printable vellum, but if you just have regular vellum, this would work too. Vellum can be a great way to just like dilute the vibrancy a little bit. Sometimes you don't want to dilute any vibrancy, but in this case, I definitely wanted to dilute the vibrancy of the pattern a little bit. What I'm doing now is I am taking a stamp. This was a 3x4 day of the week stamp set that we offered a couple years ago as an early bird for Week in the Life. I think that was in 2021. It simply says The Story, so you might be able to locate some stamps in your own stash that have something similar, a sentiment similar. All right, and so then next up there, I just trimmed out the vellum again to that same size, which is 7 inches wide by 8¼ tall. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere my photo behind the 0. Next up though, before I do that, I did want to pull out one of the embellishments, another embellishment from the kit itself. I grabbed the yellow star there, and then I thought about, what else do I have in my stash? What sort of star stamps do I have? And I just recently finished up a Christmas Past project and was using this stamp set. So I grabbed the yellow Honeyman ink from our collection and that little star stamp and stamped it on there. You obviously, if you're working with these things, you don't have to add any additional stamp to the pattern paper there where I'm going to add my journaling. You can totally choose what makes the most sense for you and your own project. On the star, I added a clear word phrase sticker there that says Our Story. And then I also added a mini brad on top because I liked the look of the mini brad. I am just going to use rolling adhesive to adhere that on top.
I often use brads more, not necessarily as a functional embellishment, but sometimes just as an added little metal embellishment, which is what I did in this case. Then I'm going back in and I'm repunching the holes on the vellum so I can make sure that's on there. And then I'm going to be using red line tape to actually adhere the wood veneer numbers on top of the vellum. And then I will use red line tape on the vellum as well. So kind of a two-part adhesive adventure here. And you can see that that's how I'm just getting that all on there. So a little bit of red line tape on the 0 and a little bit on the 1, and then I'm going to center that on the vellum and then go ahead and add adhesive to the back of that. Then after I got that first page all set, I went ahead and dove into the journaling. And really what I was doing was thinking up things about the girls right now, kind of a current observations on what's happening for each one of them. And I started off just by thinking of things in my own head. And then I sent a text to both of them that was like, tell me what your favorite color is right now. Tell me what shows you're watching or what show you're watching. Who's your bestie or besties? And what's your favorite color in your favorite class? So those were the things that I asked them, and then they sent those back to me. And so that was really a fun thing to add on. Love the opportunity to interview. Also love the opportunity to have a pretty quick and easy page, right? That comes together fairly quickly because it already has the jumping off point and it already has the space available for my journaling right on that page. And all I have to do is start writing. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another project using the Numbers Scrapbook kit.